Do I go
I
on
was like,
live?
do I
You
go
know
on
how I
live?
am.
You know how I am.
Oh, I love that color.
Thank you. It look good on our skin,
Thank you. It
huh?
look good on our skin, huh?
Yes,
Yeah, that
ma'am.
chocolate.
Yeah.
We do we got that Caribbean blood in us. Shout out to the Bahamas. So I feel like some color today. I did go somewhere and I was like, let me just keep it on. You loving it? Oh
Oh
my
my
doggone.
God.
All right, y'all. We're gonna see what's going on with that. Wait, there she go. Hold on, y'all. All right, so today we are doing part 2 of the drama. Was of course it's drama, but it's with the clients versus the not clients versus, because we're not fighting against each other, but we're basically discussing a lot of things that we just don't like when it comes to the hair salon. You good, Don? It's kind of like whatchamacallit. So while Don get that together, how is everybody doing? So one of the things, and I'm while I'm waiting on Don to come on, and I was thinking about what's the thing I'm doing the hairstylist part, right? So what are the things that we're doing the customer part now. And that is what was I gonna say? About when we have to, you good? Is that my thing or is that yours, Don? Okay, I see you now. Can you hear me? Okay, I know I'm good because I see it. But it's like it's blackening out. I don't know if we need to go out and come back in. But one of the things is my pet peeves is that because of a lot of you um will, I did this video, and in the video it was talking about how we why do you guys wash your hair and buy products? Don, I see you. You good? Yep, you blinking.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, cutie pie.
How are you? You look amazing.
Thank you. So do you, as usual. I'm trying to figure out, is that us or is that my side? But as
You're
usual,
going in and out now.
I'm going in and out.
Can you? Yeah. Okay.
I'm good. Okay. So we were talking about the salon drama. This is part 2. And Don, remember we were talking about earlier. I'm sorry about that. We were talking about um some of the things, and you were saying what was it? I forgot all about what you were saying. You wanted to talk about on it. You know what I'm talking about?
The salon drama.
Yes, we know it's
Oh,
salon. Uh-huh.
okay. Old school versus new school.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was watching on social media where they were talking about, they got this new thing where they'll show the hairstylist washing the hair, doing the treatments and things like that. And they were like, bring me back the old hairstylist. They was like the one that still got the stove where you could put the curling iron in. The one that
Right. The Marcel.
yeah, the Marcells, right? Hello, Basic. How am I the only one here? I'm not sure, Basic, but we showing 10 people are on our live, so I'm not. They probably just not commenting. But thank you for joining us. But anyway, yeah. So they'll say stuff like that. They say, give me the one that just the old school where they didn't have to call in or they didn't have to go online to make an appointment if they had an emergency, like just simple things like that. So,
Right.
what's one of the complaints of the old school? You do the old school complaint, and I'm gonna talk about one of the new school complaint that they don't like. Oh, do you want me to go first? Tell me.
The old one of the old. It doesn't. I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Old school. The old school complaint I would say would be, um, why aren't you guys shampooing hair? That's what I would ask the new school. Why aren't you shampooing the client's hair? Because from they teach us that from beauty school from day one, how to get to know the client's hair
Mm-hmm.
at the shampoo bowl, because the water tells the story. You know,
Right.
once you shampoo the client's scalp, you get a look, you get to to see the client's scalp, the hair, see exactly what's going on, you know, with the client. That's your bonding time with the client.
Right.
Is at the shampoo bowl. So
Yeah.
when you say, I don't want to shampoo your hair, it's like, you know, you know, well, I don't understand that part.
Hmm. I want to add on to that because that is true. You
Uh-huh.
know, the crazy part is the people that get the actual trouble, that have the problems in it,
Mm-hmm.
is the ones that they brought into it. So I remember it was a time where they, you know, we, like you said, old school, we washed the hair and everything like that.
Hmm.
But some kind of way, and I was talking about this when the natural movement came about, when they were like, oh,
Hmm.
natural hair now, and then you start seeing a lot of the braiding, um, you know, braiding stylists popping up, you know, and
Hmm.
then so when that happened, and I don't think we really was paying attention to it. We were coming in and with our hair already washed and blow dried because I don't need you to trim my ends. Some clients had their ends trimmed. They did go to their hairstylist because they were used to it,
Hmm.
and then they would go get their hair braided up. So I think from that, like to me, that's what I'm thinking. When they started doing that, it was easy. Now, when you say, "Oh, I love the way you braid my hair," now can you do a sew in? Okay, I'll
Hmm.
do a sewing. So you coming in and you like, I wash my hair. And with the clients, they think that when they wash their hair, they're getting a cheaper deal. But they're actually not getting a cheaper deal. They're actually charging them just as much, if not more, to do their
Hmm.
hair because it's a double whammy if you look at it. So when they charge you more if your hair is a little bit too thick, is if it's a little bit more difficult. But the reason why, because you're not doing the treatments to your hair. I love you, girl. Yet you expect my roses. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. So their hair is maybe difficult or too thick or things like that. And so what happens is they're not getting the treatment that they need for their hair. So the hairstylist is like, you know, wash your hair or whatever, because your hair too thick or it's too much or it's, you know, it's matted up or whatever the case may be. They don't want to do the work in it. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so you're not doing a treatment plus that. So um, okay, we doing a lot. Whoever it is, yada wada, whatever. Please don't make me delete you. Thank you. Oh God. Okay. So anyway, Um, so yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Now, new school, when it comes, okay, so I'm saying new school, like what we don't like, what the new school hairstylists may say, why, well, I don't have to, why would I include the washing? If I have to wash the hair, the new school is then they got to pay extra for that.
Hmm.
Whereas, you know what I'm saying? So that's what with the old school, like well, if I don't mind washing the hair, but if I wash your hair, you're gonna have to pay extra for that. Whereas when we were in school, I mean when we started out, oh Lord, I'm sorry, y'all. I tried. Thank you. So when we were in school, I mean when we started out, we knew that when you did a relaxer, or if they're coming in for a wash and a shampoo or whatever, that's fine. You're paying for the shampoo, then we're going to charge you for the blow dry. We're going to do the a la carte service. But what the natural, I don't want to put it all on natural hair, but what they're saying is that if I got to do that difficult thing, then that's what I'm going to do. You understand? And the complaints from the clients is even if they wash my hair there, they're not going to use professional products. You know what I'm saying? They're not going
Hmm.
to, they don't even want to do it because I've seen it. I done been in the salon and the client is coming for a sew-in and the client is asking to get their hair washed. And I've watched, and she is a great hairstylist, but I've watched her get frustrated when a client wants their hair washed because that's not how they started out. She started from the kitchen. She slayed hair. She still slays hair, right? Really good.
Hmm.
But When them clients came in for that, she was frustrated, and they do not want to buy it. They don't want to get an assistant. They don't want to add on extra work. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I've seen it. Like, oh, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm making my that. Okay, sorry, girl. I don't want to burn my bean. My red beans is still cooking. My red beans and yellow rice with smoked turkey. So that is the reason why. But the whole thing is the people that are losing out are the clients, because they think that, oh, I ain't have to wash my hair, so she only charged me 150. But guess what? You was gonna get charged that regardless.
Right.
Because if I did a sew-in, right? If I did a
Hmm.
sew-in, let's say my sew-ins was like, depending on what it is, right? So my
Hmm.
sew-ins start at 350. That 350 is including the wash, the treatment, and things like that. All right. Now, if you're buying the hair from me, that's going to be an additional whatever it's going to be. And again, it depends on what all I got to do. Now, if I got to color the hair, if I got to, you know, the everything comes with it. Now, the specialty cut, if you wanted it like a specialty cut, if it's different, if it's layers, that's fine. It will be included in it, and everybody does it differently. But with me, if it was a specialty cut where I had to do a lot more to the style, it's a shortcut, and I got to razor it and thin it out so it can look natural or whatever, then it's going to be more, right?
Hmm.
But typically, if you going in and you getting a sew in and you got some curly hair or whatever, we just sewing that in, that wash and that treatment is actually included in it. Well, that's what it was for me. I don't know if that was for you, Don. So you're losing in the end because you doing your hair at home, you're washing it. You don't have, even if you have the professional products, those are probably shelved products, right? So you got shelved products that you probably ordered from Amazon. There's no treatment done to the hair. And then I still see where you guys are doing the whole braid the hair down and taking the wrap paper and gluing it to your scalp. I mean, putting it on your scalp and then having it glued on, which is, so you're losing in the end. Not so you're not only not treating the hair and taking care of it, but you're also going to allow them to do more damage with the chemicals and the glue and everything else to the hair, and you're losing and you're not winning. You're not saving money because eventually you'll be on the side, you'll be looking at videos trying to figure out how to grow your edges back or how to grow back your hair. So that is definitely when you talk about the complaints, the natural hairstyles, they don't like that. And then I like what you're talking about too, Don. You've been talking about the specialty thing, and I want you to give me your explanation on, like this, not the specialty, because you're a licensed cosmetologist. We know that. But what I'm asking about is, I saw something on your Instagram where you were talking about specialties, or you know what I'm talking about, like lashes, like if you just did lashes or whatever. Is
Oh, a
that,
specialty license.
yeah, uh-huh. Why would
So,
you go ahead.
um, when you're as a professional, they call it your bread and butter money, right?
Hmm.
So, how you build your clientele is by doing the craft, right? That means implementing a service such as eyelash extensions.
Right.
So when um, when you're marketing yourself, you have eyelash extensions. Where does it fall in the beauty industry,
Hmm.
right? Because you
Right.
technically anybody can do it, right?
Right. Right.
But if you're an esthetician, how do I know what this person is actually um how do I know that it's not damaging my eyes? The
Right.
adhesive, right? Because there's no the lash technician has no accountability.
Hmm.
It's as a specialty license. So she would still have to secure a license from the state
Right.
in terms of I would consider that a specialty license if that makes sense. It probably didn't, but
It
she
does,
was
but I'm gonna play the devil's advocate because
uh-huh.
I'm the client.
Okay.
I don't really care about that because she do my eyes fine, and I know I'm just hearing about this, but she do my eyes, my lashes
Mm-hmm.
fine. I ain't never had
Mm-hmm.
no infection or anything else like that. So I'm gonna keep doing it.
Right.
And matter of fact, I want them because I have friends that tell me they get it double lash because their lashes are actually thinning now. So they do the
Right.
double lash so it can even look fuller. And I'm like, well, dang. I said, well, what they putting on? They
Right.
say on the eyelid. I'm like, my God.
Right.
So, huh?
But that's the same thing in terms of alopecia of the eyelids.
Uh-huh.
Remember when we would put the quick weave, we would go in and put the paper the paper, excuse me, we'll apply the paper,
Hmm.
then the stocking cap, then the glue,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So you're just suffocating the scalp. So now you're doing the same thing when it comes to your lash. So some people just the lashes are gone, so they'll put a strip on and then they'll build out from there. So
Okay.
that's a lot of stress on your lash and on your skin,
Mm,
right? Because what
right.
type of product that you're using that's going to uphold, you're not cleansing your eye area. Are you cleansing your eyelid? You know what I mean? So you have dust and debris that's formulating and bacteria that's formulating on the eyes. So although this may be a style, a trend, or something you may like, you're still bringing harm and damage to your skin and to your
I,
face.
you know what's
Just like,
funny?
mm-hmm.
I'm sorry not to cut you off, but you know what's
No
funny?
worries.
I have
Mm-hmm.
been going to my nail tech, which I haven't been in a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, but I've been going to my nail tech for about, she reminded me, about 4 years. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
really? She's like, you,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, you never get your eyes done. I never let her do my eyelashes. I
Right.
never let, but I told her, I said, you know what, one, I'm a cosmetologist. So
Mhm.
a lot of stuff I know I can do at home. You know,
Right.
I come here for my nails to be pampered, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things I can, do at home. I do my own hair, like so. And when it comes to lashes, I've always known when you go through the process the right way, when you go into beauty school and you understand the issues that can happen, the side effects, you
Right.
do not, I don't play about that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
I've seen it. I've seen it too many
Right.
times where your hair is fried, your hair is gone, you may have long
Mm-hmm.
hair and you don't went to somebody and they telling you about the latest, especially when the keratin thing came about. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, dumb.
Mm-hmm.
That keratin thing was brutal. If you did not know what you was doing, you was taking them out. You was taking their head. What's that post you put the other day? I was dying laughing. The one where you talking about some doing hair till you bald, till they bald.
Oh yeah, everybody can do hair until you bald.
Girl, I wish you
Yeah,
knew,
you just
I
wake
wish you
up
could
one
see,
morning and you're like, what happened to my hair? Yeah. So you just keep
right.
going until you're bald. That's the same thing with with when it comes to the eyelashes. They're gonna
Hmm.
keep going until they've damaged their eyes, and it's like in their skin, that area is so sensitive. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
when are they gonna say, when they're walking around blind?
Hmm.
Right?
Now, another complaint. Now I'm the client now. Another
Hmm.
complaint that maybe hairstylists don't know about is
Hmm.
your hygiene.
That's how you
Um,
know. But this is how you know the person did not go to beauty school, because they're
mm,
not doing those key practices, right?
right,
Because when you go to cosmetology school, they give you that. It's a code of conduct. It's a code of ethics, right?
right,
Your,
right.
your code of ethics is your hygiene. That's one of the core principles of cosmetology. So when you go in and you're receiving a beauty service, this person couldn't possibly be licensed or have gone to school, because they're not
Hmm.
operating in that particular way. You know,
Right, right.
sometimes we're so desperate for the service, so we just go in and take on anything and just open ourselves up to all that bacteria. To be beautiful, it's like you go sleep with about 10 zillion guys without a condom.
Ooh,
You
Lord.
know,
I mean, if you want to
yeah,
say it like that,
they don't.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right,
Yeah, you don't
right,
think about it like that, right? because when
You
you come in
don't.
contact with each client, you need to have gloves,
Right.
right? Each client, you need a new pair of gloves. They put those gloves on and they keep them on all day on several different clients,
Oh Lord, I didn't even think about that. Now,
right?
Don, don't have me going. Nobody thinking I don't see them take them gloves. I'm like, you got another pair,
Right,
but you
right.
got a box.
Each client requires a new set of gloves.
Oh my God! So what they doing? Going in the back, washing their the gloves off with whatever, and then
No, I don't even, they're just not consciously aware. You know what I mean? You have to change the gloves. You just change out the gloves.
how they not consciously aware?
Come on now. Does each when the doctor comes and see you, each
Hmm.
physician,
Yeah.
right? When the doctor
Right.
comes in, if he has to touch you, he has on a set of gloves. When he takes those gloves off, he tosses them in the trash,
Right.
right?
Right.
When he goes to the next client, he picks it's a set of gloves in the drawer, whatever. He picks them up and put them on before he touched
Hmm.
the client. When you
Hmm.
sometimes when you get a massage, some people that they it's easier or they prefer the glove,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
Just to form some type of barrier. So there's so many transferable bacteria that we really don't think about, you know, when it comes to beauty services.
Lanita said they too lazy to change the gloves. Don't be too
Oh my
lazy
God.
putting can't put putting putting bacteria. Y'all, listen, y'all don't open my eyes. I didn't even that snuck by me because I'm big on the comb
Mhm.
barber side, but I've never even thought about um the doggone gloves. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when I talk about hygiene, I'm talking about some of us. I have had. I read comments. Is
Oh
that
yeah,
what
it
it's
must
called?
be
Right. I read the comments, and in the comments, they
bad
saying
breath.
like y'all be smelling like y'all just came from the club. Some of us smell like weed. Some of us don't
Oh wow.
brush our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of us, we already talked about the hair situation. They don't, y'all, some of them are looking at how your upkeep is, and
Right,
if they're a new client and they come in,
right.
I've seen them writing about that, or you may have weave in your hair and you're doing that whole whatever thing. They never see
Mm-hmm.
you wash your hair,
Right.
so that's what I was speaking of when I talked about hygiene. Those are some of the complaints that clients complain about. But in my mind, I'm like, so you still keep coming?
Right.
Why would I change? It's like being in a bad relationship, and you get that one friend that every time you call her, she telling you the newest foolishness that the man has done, right? And then you in your mind, you're like, well, when you leaving? Like, how long when you gonna get tired of talking about the thing? It's the same thing. It's like, well, if you see all of this, I always say you got to make me believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make me because to me energy is big. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm coming in your place, the energy has to be a certain way, and I need to feel like you care about yourself just as much as you're gonna care about my hair. I always say that. That's self love. So you need to be hype. Especially I've had clients that's like, I want to cut my hair, but they're nervous, and I'm like, girl, you're gonna look good. And you gotta be the hype man for your clients or whatever. But I can't be the hype man if I look like Who Shot John. You know what I'm saying? Like they like, child, please. Well, I know what you're saying. I'm gonna look like, but and they're nervous. They're nervous
Mm-hmm.
because of the way you're carrying yourself. And I always tell the people when I have my salon that you are a walking billboard.
Right.
You're a walking billboard. No matter what you think, like, oh, when I get, because we have a thing when we say, oh, girl, when I fix myself up. Well, why are you not doing that every day?
Right.
And you're in a business.
Right.
So a lot of times that is a complaint from clients that they don't like. I got another one. It's so hood, but I'm gonna see. Do you have anything to say before I bring this one out, girl?
No, I agree. That was that. Like I said, that's the code of ethics in the cosmetology book. They talk about that in the first chapter. It goes from
Hmm.
sterilization and sanitation. and it goes to imagery, about how
Right.
you should care about yourself. It talks about hygiene. It talks about breath. It talks about body odor. It talks about, having your nails too long. If you're like,
Hmm.
you shouldn't have false nails on if you're going to be a masseuse, right?
Ooh, yeah.
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 So they have different requirements for the profession,
Right.
for certain beauty professions. So, but they still do it. If you're going to wear nails, they shouldn't be past a certain length because under your nails carry the most bacteria.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Y'all remember, well, Don, I know you remember. Remember when SWV came out? I can only talk about Miami.
Uh-huh.
SWV came out and who that was, Coco with the nails? Is it Coco?
I don't remember,
I
but
think it was
I'm
Coco. Somebody correct me
uh
if I'm wrong. But she was known
okay.
for the long nails. And I had
Uh-huh.
like that was the thing in my I think it was everywhere, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
my
yeah. The
friends,
long,
I couldn't get
the,
them, right? Because I
the
said, you
long,
can't even pick up
those long
nothing.
sculpted nails that's out there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I had a
yeah.
friend, I had a friend, Yana. Girl, Yana had them nails long like that. Now, first of all, she working at McDonald's. She working on the. I said, so she was, I was over her house and I was in the city. I was over her house and we was getting ready to go out somewhere. And she was like, oh my God. I said, well, how do you even clean yourself? She said, you gotta I said, don't
Yeah,
call in them nails.
yeah,
So I hate to sound so but when you said that about the nails, I'm like, that is so true. That
yeah.
is so so true. So you
Mhm,
think about even like servicemen, like firefighters, they cannot have
mhm.
beards. They can't, like how you see men that be able to wear it, they can't have beards because if they got to go into a fire, they got to put on a mask and stuff. They cannot have those beards like long and bushy like that.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
that's a and you try to fight that, it got to be some type of medical reason why you can't shave your beard. But don't they're kind of military, like very strict. So that's how you have that. Now another thing, all right, clients, I'm on y'all side today. Another thing client be complaining about, when they book their appointment to get their hair done, they come in to get their hair done, and you sitting there and you getting your hair washed or whatever. Well, they ain't washing it, but you getting your hair sewed in, and they may need products or they may want to get something to eat, and they do this. Let me get $20 of my money.
What? I'm like,
Yes,
where
ma'am.
is this?
Honey, I done seen it. I'm like,
No.
how you know this girl hair gonna turn out right? Yes.
What? So what? They have to pay before the service is complete.
Wait,
They
ask
need to put
questions,
in a
yes.
deposit before the service is complete. Is that what
Yes,
you said?
yeah, the
Oh
girl,
goodness.
um, and then the client,
No.
it puts the client on the spot, right? And they be looking great. I've seen it, y'all. I've seen it. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
goodness.
yeah. I've actually seen that. Not when I'm working in a salon, they would never tolerate. You did something like that to a client, and in the salons I've been in, that $1 million salon, they'd be like, lead to the back, please. Because you got them high end clients. Them people ain't with that. It's like, oh my God, I just had the most ghetto thing happen. You know how that
Oh my
is, right?
goodness.
But I sat in a salon and I watched this. It wasn't my person, but I've watched that several times where the
Uh-huh.
person, they'll send their assistant in the back and say, tell her I need give me $40. I saw that happen. Let me get $40, and
What?
then yeah, because she was trying to buy product and she didn't have no money. The
Um,
hairstylist didn't have the money. And so she was like, oh, tell her hair gonna be 65, right? Honey, the client
uh-huh.
had came from behind up under the dryer. And she was like, this is a wash and set. It's 45. So why am I paying
Uh-huh.
65? And why do I need to give that to you now? Like she put her on the spot. And I thought it was good that she did that. The reason why, that is beyond unprofessional to do. And I'm gonna tell you, it's the new school. It ain't the old school, y'all.
What?
It's the
So
new
that's new
school.
school. Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's oh my goodness. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can handle being in a salon now. You know,
I
I
was
don't
like,
know.
Dawn, the first time I saw it, I was like, but I was new to the game. I was like, new. I'm like, oh, maybe they have some type of understanding because I'm old school. So maybe they got an understanding and that's why they're getting the money.
Right.
But honey, that lady came, she said, my hair is only 45, so why am I paying you 65 and I'm doing a wash and set? She was so fast, and she stared at her like, and the girl was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I thought you tried to play it off. I said, you
Right.
knew what it was. That lady looked at her, she was like, this is the last time I'm coming back here. And this is the thing people don't realize because people like, oh, like when you work in a high-end salon, a lot of people be like, a lot of women think like, oh, I don't go in them salons, they too expensive. But people will
Mm-hmm.
pay the money for the peace of mind. People will
Mm-hmm.
pay the money because they don't have to deal with you on the phone and you
Yeah.
tugging and pulling their hair. They can deal with some real consultation, and that's what you wanted. That's what it was, consultation, Don. So as soon as I finish this, you could talk about I know you were saying something about consultation, like the differences or whatnot. But people will pay the extra money for professionalism. I'm just being honest, and
Yeah.
I cannot. I don't care who you are. I don't care what business you have. I cannot stand people who think that because of the color of your skin that
Mm-hmm.
I have to give you my money.
Right.
If you are unprofessional and I'm paying my money,
You're right.
you'll never see another penny from me again. I don't care about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. And now I'm just thinking about it right now. I done got mad all over again because when you make a complaint, I'm tired of black people. Uh, Give me the same service you would have gave another person. Give me the same service. So I never really liked that. It's like how you have a waiter come to your table and they us you like, hey, how you doing? And, I always ask, hi, how are you? What's your name? Oh, I would say, oh, you're so cute or something like that. Then don't come back here to my child, my baby, and I'm like, mm-mm. Don't start talking about you got to leave work early and all that. No, keep it professional. Keep it professional. So what were you talking about earlier when we were on the phone about something with the consultation that you wanted to mention, Don?
The consultation, if it's a new client,
Mm-hmm.
you need a consultation. Have you been to that client before? Have you been to that stylist before?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the consultation will consist of, you know, what are your goals for your hairstyle, right?
Right. Right.
Um, do you want you more, are you more into the hairstyle, or are you into the to preserving your hair
Mm-hmm.
throughout different hairstyles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if the goal is to preserve your hair, then certain styles won't be for you. Like say
Right.
the client may be a swimmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can't be bothered with having to, to blow out or twist, or actually having to deal with her hair um when she swims, because I used to have that issue with clients that took up swimming for a summer. I mean, for the
Okay.
summer, or they swam a lot, right? Because they
Right.
had chlorine issues. They wanted to find a style that they can deal with when it comes to their own natural hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some
Right.
people, they tried the braids for a while, but it didn't work. The best thing is to just leave your own hair the way it is, right?
Right.
And
Right.
get you a nice a swim cap,
Right.
right?
Right.
Swim
Right.
cap, and then once you're done with your swim, then you go in and style your own hair as need be. Because if you go in with a head full of braids, all that can't get up under the swim cap, right? So
Right.
you have to consider the type of style or the lifestyle that the client has before saying, suggesting a particular hairstyle. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to walk them through the process and the reality of that actual style. So if I'm a swimmer, should I have a relaxer? And the answer is no, right? Because you run the risk of, having, chlorine exposure
Yeah.
when it comes to, the relaxer. So you have to be mindful of the type of, hairstyle for that particular service. The person might work out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have some
Right.
fitness girls, I can't, I have to shampoo my hair every day.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I can't wear an install,
Right.
right?
Right.
She can't wear install because that's gonna smell. She
Mm-hmm.
can't get underneath that scalp. She's gonna be doing all this patting and all that, you know. She's gonna be walking around because she can't really necessarily clean or get to her scalp. So you have to consider the type of hairstyle that the client wants, and that all comes during the consultation. And then of course you go over the price. So you
Right.
don't have to ask the client for money during the middle of the service, right? Or before
Mm-hmm.
the service. So you will go, you know, and through the consultation, like you may say, hey, Dawn, I'm coming in for so and so referred me, and I'm coming in for some uh, tape ins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I haven't seen the client's hair before, so I asked the client to send me some pictures. Okay, well, I work out a lot, so I know I need to. If you work out a lot, that means you're going to be shampooing your hair a lot. She told me that
Right.
before I said it, right? Hey, I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be shampooing my hair a lot because it's oily. So yeah, I'm going to be coming in more frequently because I have tape ins, right? We
Right.
already know tape ins. You run the risk of them sliding or coming out, when water hits it. So you have to consider the type of style during the consultation and of course the price. Okay, well, Dawn,
Right.
I don't have the hair. I don't know what type of hair I need. I need you to get the hair for me. Okay, well, that's going to require a deposit, right?
Right.
So you won't have she won't have to come in and say, "Oh, you didn't, where's the hair?" Well, I didn't, you need to give me a deposit so I can purchase the hair, you know, because I can't use my money to purchase the hair. And then you say, "I
Right.
don't want the style anymore," because we've done that before. Where stylists will
Mm-hmm.
go out and purchase hair. The client said they were coming in. You didn't get
Oh,
a
that happened to me.
deposit, right?
Yeah.
And so now you stuck with this particular style, or I mean, with this hair,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Right.
sometimes even the color, because some colors are specialty colors or specialty
Mm-hmm.
blends. We all know how that goes
Right.
when you're dealing with clients with but particular images that they want. So the consultation is very, very key. And if the person doesn't have the time to speak with you,
Mm-hmm.
'cause, you have to hear what the consumer is saying so you can
Right.
suggest what's best, right?
Right.
Not to get the
Right.
money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I can do some braids. Oh, I didn't know you were talking about these small braids that's gonna be all the way down to my buttocks. I didn't know you was that's not $150. That's
Right.
$300,
Right.
right? So you have to be mindful when you go
But
in with these. Uh-huh, go ahead.
the new hairstylist,
Mhm.
um, that's the difference, and that's where clients do have problems. Like the young lady I was telling you about a few weeks ago, that you'll either have two things, and this is a complaint clients have with the new schools, clients, where they want you to only buy their hair.
Right.
You can come in with some. I've seen that happen too, where they come in some top notch hair. They don't order their hair. That the client has ordered their own hair, and they saying,
Mhm.
"Hey, I want this," and then the stylist say, "I don't braid with that hair," or "I can't
Mhm.
do it with that particular hair," or whatnot. Which it insults a person's intelligence, the client's
Mhm.
intelligence, because it's like, what do you mean you can't braid my hair up? You can't use this hair to braid my hair up. So they feel
Mhm.
like, if you're a braider, then shouldn't you be able to braid anything? It's not
Mhm.
necessarily that they can't. It's more so of, I don't want to. Maybe they don't like that particular brand. And I've had that happen where it's like, I've seen it way back when I had the bob plaits, and when how they burn the ends wouldn't burn because whatever type of
Right.
material they used in the hair. So,
Mhm.
but for a client, they a lot of times they prefer to have their own hair, and that
Mhm.
causes a conflict because with the new age hairstylists, they don't want to do consultation. Text me over
Mm.
the phone. Tell me what you need. Send me a picture of your hair. Take the full so I can see the density and everything, and then I send you a price, right? So everybody, so for me, part of consultation would be what's the history of your hair?
Right.
What's the history? Because that is going to tell me whether or not you're even a candidate for that. But
Mm-hmm.
a hairstyle, the new school hairstylist, the reason why they don't do the consultation, and I'm under this understanding because I spoke to a new school hairstylist, is the fact that they don't really care because at the end of the day, they need you to give them the money. So that's why they
Right.
don't do the consultation, because if they have to do the consultation, it's going to require more work for them, right?
Right.
It's going to require more work because now that client is happy. They're like, oh my God, you want to know about the history of my hair? Well, this is what's been going on. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why it's important to know those things is because if they just had surgery, you can't just use
Mm-hmm.
anything in their hair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If they found out they had a certain like lupus or something like that, there's certain things you can't do. I had a client that was going through menopause and was losing her hair. And this happened to me. And she
Right.
went to the doctor and he put a topical on her where she was losing her hair at. And I said to her, is it okay to relax the hair? Because she was coming in for a relaxer. This was years ago. And she was like, yeah. So yeah. She calls the doctor, the dermatologist. The dermatologist, I knew it too. But she's high end, So she went to
Mm-hmm.
the dermatologist that all of the stars recommended. And she was like, yeah, it's okay. And I did her relaxer, and that hair it was just coming out. Like I rinsed it, it was just, and she was like so devastated, behind that. Like she ended up, it's back now. She has her hair now, but we had to like, I had to add extensions. She had never had extensions. Everybody don't want to wear extensions. So it
Right.
was really for her. And I think too, because she was a black woman, she was married to a Caucasian man. She did that. She was like in tears when we ordered her hair. Because
Oh
that's
wow.
one of the things that he loved, that the fact that she had a natural hair or whatever. To each his own. But the point that I'm making in that is that a lot of you take a risk when you sit in those chairs and you're looking at the other girls and you're looking at how beautiful the hair is, but you don't know your history, or they don't know the history of your hair, and neither do they care. How many
Right.
times have you seen videos of clients that have went to somebody and they showing you a rash? Hey Caroline, that's my old coworker, Caroline. But how many times have you seen, you know what I mean, on like my client, the one the other day I did a live video and I put on there, I did a live video and I was like, she had her hair up, which is really pretty, but she has eczema. Now, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I've known her since she was 5. I've been doing her hair for a long, long time. And she never had any type of scalp issues. But when I stopped doing hair, she started going, because I took a break. So she started going to other hairstylists. She has long, beautiful hair, right? Her mom has long hair. But she started going to the other ones, and guess what? No consultation, no
Mm-hmm.
examination of the scalp, a lot of spritz, a lot of alcohol. And eventually, what happened was she has eczema. I said, well, how do you got eczema? She was like, I don't know. I said, you don't develop eczema. And it could also be stress of life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of as women that we put stress on our bodies and our bodies become comfortable with being stretched to the limit, right? So you could be already burned out, but you're still pushing yourself because the kids, the husband, your life, the business, or whatever, and you're just pushing, and you don't realize that you're putting your body in a state that you may not be able to come from. So with her, to me, it was just the eczema. And when she told me that, I was like, you never had eczema before. And she was like, I know. So we already know that those are the issues. But guess what? She still went and got the braids. And listen, them braids, what are the boho braids? They look
Mm-hmm.
so nice on her. I'm like, she got them down to her back or whatever. But she can't even enjoy and lay them down her back because if she lays it down on her back, all of this in the back breaks out.
Oh wow.
It breaks out all on the side of her face. It was like gray little patches going on the side of her
Mm-hmm.
face. And I was like, wow. So you're allergic to the hair, but a lot of women that's that now, and I'm gonna put this on the clients too. That's the reason why you go to those type of hairstylists, not just because of the fact that they can slay that particular hairstyle that you want, whether it's the mohawk or the mullet that they're doing now, and they razor and all that. It's not necessarily that. And you may have long hair, so you're like, I'm gonna go to her because I love her work. But it's also not to hold you responsible because whether we like it or not, we don't like to be accountable. And we don't like
Mm-hmm.
to be when we're held accountable, when you're coming into my salon or when I had the salon and you're telling me, oh, I went to such and such and she did this. And then I start asking questions. Did she do a consultation? No. Did she do this? What products did she use? Oh, she didn't wash my hair. Okay. Did she wash? And then another thing is, I used to wash the extensions, the hair extensions. So before I even put it on the hair, because I hated that hair extension smell that they have to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so even in that, she, I said to them, "Oh, I see what's going on now. They're gonna blame you. They're gonna blame the hairstylist." But once you saw it was a no consultation, once you start seeing the issues going on, and you still kept going to her, I put that on you. We do that so we can play the blame game. So I went to her and she did such and such. Not everything is their fault. We have to hold ourselves accountable and say, yeah, you know what? I knew that girl ain't specialized in nothing. When I came in, there was 10 girls in front of me and she was just throwing them wigs on and putting the adhesive on and sending me on my way. So I knew that. So now I'm seeing the hair thinning. Every time she take it off, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, what my scalp is going. What look at my scalp, look at my hair is going. And instead and then we say, you know what? I gotta stop. Now you bald. So now you want to stop it. But then when you come to the person that you should have been to the whole time, you want to talk about what that hairstylist do. I don't let them do that. And I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, how long you was going on? 6 years. 6 years? Well, baby, welcome. I do the best I can. I'm still going to ask those questions because I want to get you the help that you need. But I have turned clients down that once I have gotten their hair back to where it needs to be and they start that whole hopping around and then they want to come back for me to do it again. I said, no, 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 no. Find somebody else because for me, it's not necessarily about the money, even though I may need the money, they become liabilities to me because
Right.
yeah, I've seen that happen where they come to you, you restore their hair, and they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna do such and such anymore. And they go right back to those same people with no experience. And then when something else happens, they back in my chair, they want a regimen, they want this and that. Ma'am, no thank you. It
Yeah.
ain't worth the headache. And then you come to me. It said no good deed goes unpunished. You come to me, and that has happened to me where the person crying and saying, "I got an event," and their hair is gone in the back. That happened to me, and then I do the hair right, and then they're gone, and then a lady called me and say, "Well, you didn't do no treatment for." Well, ma'am, what do you want from me? You needed an updo. So I gave you the
Right.
updo that you need. I added one of those pieces on the back or whatever. I can't do a treatment if this is what you want. You got to pick it. You got to
Mm-hmm.
pick your battle. Which one do you want?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Well, I told you about my situation. Yeah, so why don't you take that up with the lady in your situation? Go over there." So I'm very skeptical because women will. I've had it happen. I'm gonna tell this story real quick because I know we get to the end. I had a lady that knew I specialized. I work for Hair Club, right? When I leave Hair Club at 5, when I leave here at 4:30, I would go over to the salon where I paid booth rent. And this was in Carolinas. And this lady sought after me. She was like, please do my hair. You do a good job. Your name is Doing well. Okay, she was 90% hair loss, right? So we do everything. I say you need a custom wig because she had hair in certain spots. I did the measurements. You know how we go through our thing, write all that down, customize it for her. Do you want highlights in it? What do you want? You know, what kind of scallops? See the kind of scallops that I need for the system, all the stuff. Get the system. This lady flew in from Tennessee. Get the system. The lady wanted to come early, so I met her at 4 a.m. to do her hair. This is a Saturday morning.
Wow.
4 a.m. Laid the thing on, razor cut the thing. You wouldn't even know she had a system on. That lady was like, "Oh, I want to wait for everybody to come." She had got it done. She wanted to get something. She wanted the people in the salon to see her hair, how great it looked. She FaceTime family, did all this stuff. Like, girl, you look good. That lady flew back home and challenged the charge on her credit card. Girl, I said, never again.
Wow.
Now today technology, you can't just say, "Hey, I didn't do this charge." The bank will contact you, and you got to show proof that you try to come back or say, "Hey, this is not my charge." You got to show proof. But back then, they did not, and I lost out on a large amount of money. Let's just say it was over 3 grand. But the point was, so she got that system and everything. And do you know what? Y'all want to
So
know what?
I don't understand how, because she disputed the charges, but she received the service.
She received the service, but they
She
took it
received
off.
the service.
Yeah, they took it. They took it from me. They said they're gonna do an investigation. I said I offered her a service. I showed the things, like proof that she was booked and everything, and that lady was fighting that thing. And do you know, Don? Do you know? Now this is, and I'm one of that. When I say I'm a good hairstylist, I'm not just talking about my skill set. My skill sets are good, right? But I'm one of those hairstylists. I'm gonna treat you like I treat myself. I'm going to take care of you because I'm spending money. And I know you spending hard-earned money, right? And that lady disputed it. And do you know, 3 months later, she needed that hair service, that head of hair service, and we had ordered other systems. So we had ordered 2 systems. So she called me and was like crying and everything. I don't know what I was going through. And I'm like, I said, I was amazed that she even called. I was like, you can't make this stuff. This lady stole from me and then still needed the help because I guess she thought she had something set up there where she would be able to get a system. And when she was not, she reached out. And I told her, I said, listen, uh, I don't know what kind of thing you got going on, and whatever. But I said, don't ever call me again, because I was really good to her. Like I went over and beyond. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, those are the things. And I won't stop. I'm not a person like that. Even though that was a bad apple, I still do the same for my clients because that was one bad situation. But as a hairstylist, you will run into that. And then I've seen hairstylists become bitter afterwards because of the fact that something like that happened. Because not all of us had, at that time I was married, not all of us had husbands or a spouse where if something happened, it wasn't hurting you. A lot of hairstylists are single moms or single women. They don't have that. They're depending on your money. They're depending on that service done, you know. So, but I never changed that. And it made women bitter. It's made hairstylists bitter because you got a lot of people that they want the look, but they don't want to spend the money. We have money for what we want. I always tell people that. So when people come, unless you was a client and you've been coming to me for a long time and you had some type of hardship, I'm going to help you. But if you done been to me a couple of times and you call me to my son, I don't have no money, I need my hair done. Honey, getting your hair done is a luxury. It's not a necessity. Wash your hair. It's a luxury. You know what I'm saying? So, and for a lot of us, it's a luxury and a necessity. But it can be a necessity. But if you're one of them clients that you hardly come, and you done came a couple of times when income tax time come, and then you want to turn around and say, I'm having hardship, I can't do anything for you. But yeah, that is one of my complaints as a hairstylist. I have seen that happen. So guess what? You gotta everything. I start being more smarter, making them sign things and different things like that. When it was those type of systems, when I had to do hair replacement. But yeah,
Mhm.
Don looked like, wait, what? Yeah, flew all the way from Tennessee, loved on everybody, brought breakfast, did everything. And that lady went from, I said, oh my God, that lady she been doing stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Can you send me the adhesive at least? Ma'am, I can't do anything for you. Not anything at all. I don't even know why you called me. Matter of fact, when this phone hang up, I'm going to block you. Yeah. Yeah. So and listen, you know how they got to pay the deposit before they even get the service. So they got to pay half for me with a service like that. You got to pay half because you got to pay for your systems and stuff, and then the other half. She said neither one of the charges was hers. Yeah. So
Mhm.
honey, that's my story in the beauty world when it comes to the drama. So, I just, wanted to tap into that. And I love that we had this conversation out. We always try to open the doors for the clients and the hairstylists to hear the things that we're discussing, because it is to not just help you, but to understand so you can see the effects of what happens on either side when something is not done in the proper way that it should be done. So you can hear the excuses or the reasons why women don't want to come to the salon anymore. Those excuses are they sit too long. You don't wash their hair. They don't get all the pampering that they used to get. They don't look forward to it because they don't want anybody asking them to pay up front because you got to pay. You got to buy products for the other clients. That's not the issue. That's beyond unprofessional. So that's one reason. Or when you got a client like when you have someone like me or a Don and you want to book an appointment and they say you got to pay a deposit because maybe depending on what it is, guess what? You may not like it, but because of being burned in the past, now you got to take your professionalism to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's one of the things as well. Karen says hi. Hi, Karen.
Hi,
So Don,
Karen.
we're about to wrap up. Do you want to add anything to this discussion? Last week you told us about the haircut. I did want to talk about that haircut situation, but I'm not gonna do it. I used my story time on the client from hell. That was a client from hell. Because that lady was crying on the phone. She went on social media. That's when Facebook was fresh. She went on social Facebook and she was like, "Oh, she don't want to do my hair. That's discrimination." I'm like,
Wow.
but I'm gonna tell you what it did do for me because a lot of times, people see situations like this and they say, "Oh, I'll never do that again." I'll do it again, but the difference is it taught me a lesson in business. Did I,
Mhm.
I messed up in certain areas where I should have dotted my I's and crossed my T's. And it also helped me when I had those clients that came around and said, "Hey, I need a system," and they be desperate. They need a system. And I can
Mhm.
tell by that conversation, I already know, oh, this is a hustler. Mm-mm. Or she want to
Mhm.
sit in my chairs because she want to see the products I'm using because she want to go
Mhm.
where she at to do, because you got those hairstylists that do that stuff too. And
Right.
I'm like, you can figure all of this out. I'm not one of the ones that hide things like that. You can figure whatever I'm using or whatnot because you're not me. I'm not Dawn. Dawn do hair totally different from the way I do hair. She may be a
Right.
master cutter. I'm a master cutter. She may be a
Mhm.
master cutter, but her cuts is different from the way I cut mine. The
Mhm.
technique, the what she was taught to do in school, the foundation is there, but our DNA is two different things. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so, you have those hairstylists that come in and they want to, see what you're doing, how you getting all these people. So it's a mess, y'all. Y'all welcome to the drama world of the beauty side. We got to show you not just the beautiful side. We don't just want to educate you on hair loss and scalp issues. We want to talk about the real life drama that happens we deal when it comes to clients and their issues that they have with hairstylists and hairstylists have with the clients. And so that is all for today. Don, you have anything else to add before I close it out?
No, take care of y'all beauty.
We love you guys. We will see you next Sunday with a new topic going on. And one quick thing, if you have something that you want us to discuss or whatnot, I'm going to put our emails on there. Maybe you have a question and you want to remain anonymous. Maybe it's something to do with hair loss or you're trying to figure out a business situation. Because remember, we have been in the game. What we got 100 years between us. We've been in the game, so we know the business side. We understand a lot of the educational side. We know cut, color, all those different things, their operations. So if you have a question, you can send it in. And if you want to remain tell us, hey, I want to remain anonymous and I can read it online and we can get
Mhm.
you the help that you need, all right, without having to type it in. Because I know the people don't realize the beauty world is very intimate and it's very
Mhm.
private and just, it's a discreet situation. So maybe some of you do have questions, but you just don't know what to do. So at the end, later on, I'm going to post Don's email and my email, and you can reach out. Whether for Don, if you have skin issues or hair issues, or you have question on makeup, definitely reach out to her. And for me, scalp disorders or hair loss or hair in general, you can contact me as well. And either one of us, when it comes to the business side, maybe you know what I'm saying. So that is all. I will see you guys next week, Sunday, 7 p.m. Salon Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing. Bye.